My name is Kyler Duncan, and this is my project on DC Comics. So, some of DC Comics' key brand elements are their mission and vision, which is to strategically integrate the DC Comics business, brand, and characters deeply into Warner Brothers Entertainment and all of its content and distribution businesses. Also, the brand definition is that DC Comics stands for Detective Comics, and it was founded in 1934. The company has since become one of the largest American comic book companies, and they are the publishers of DC Entertainment and a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. The product I'm going to be choosing for this project is the 2021 Suicide Squad movie. DC Comics targeting and positioning is mostly adults, which limits their audience. It's a little bit niche. Their rival competitors are obviously Marvel, with the top spot in the comic book market. Marvel has 34.7% of the market, and DC has 27.9%. And to the right is a little pie chart that I found as of February 2020. It also creates pressure on DC's movies and organization of characters for future success, competing with Marvel as they create the Avengers movies and bring their characters together. And DC Comics unfortunately made the mistake of releasing large character movies too early, such as the Batman vs. Superman, in a standalone movie cycle, whereas Marvel instead invested in a long-term plan that was made a long time ago. So DC's kind of trying to catch up with that. DC Comics has also been making those solo movies since 2017 in hopes that the fans connect with the universe and get into more of the multiverse aspects. A little bit about the product and audience of the Suicide Squad movie is it targets younger men, 18 to 39. It's also rated R and follows mainly a comic book origin and stories and characters. Overall, the film is made for the fans and revamps the old 2016 Suicide Squad while also bringing in a completely new group of characters. And the budget of $100 million was for advertising. So the Suicide Squad movie's earned media is mainly through Google reviews, blogs, and YouTube reviews and things like that predominantly. The diversification and strong brand loyalty that DC has created has led to a large amount of earned media, be that through individual content creators or blogs or news articles, things like that. So not all reviews are necessarily good for the movie, but also it has led to Peacemaker, which is one of the characters, having his own HBO Max. So we can see that a lot of this content multiplies. It crosses over platforms into video games, and some of this helps promote different pieces of content, such as this movie. They have a 2021 Suicide Squad game coming out. And also, before and after the film's release, content creators were making the new reviews, blogs, and articles, continuing up to this date. So we can see that earned media with movies in DC is a really big, important piece. DC's owned media for the film seemed to be mainly put through TikTok as far as social media platforms. Of course, there was also marketing through film previews and commercials on TV. We also saw a little bit of marketing on Instagram, Facebook. They had a Snapchat filter, but not a full Snapchat profile, as well as Twitter, and plenty of YouTube trailer advertisements popping up as well. DC's paid media for the film seemed to be through YouTube advertisements, as well as any of the paid promotions through social media platforms, commercials on TV, previews during films. They also had art in cities and billboards, and we can also assume that they did some email marketing as well as Google advertisements. The key learnings that I got from this project are that DC maintains a pretty good job of balancing their content that promotes the brand and product, as well as using relevant non-sales focused content to keep their community stimulated as well. But DC should implement more user-generated content. There's tons of fans out there doing cosplay, making art, and different things like that that should be utilized. Also, the content marketing campaign did seem to work very well during the beginning with its fan base, making great opening sales and reviews. But overall, the movie did underperform after that $100 million budget, and many question why the movie didn't do as well as something like Marvel's Shang-Chi. But that also raises many different factors that DC needs to take a look at, such as how that budget was allocated compared to Shang-Chi or something that performed well, as also the COVID and Delta variant. The fact that the film was released on HBO Max streaming, so anyone who had a membership could just go watch the movie at home instead of paying movie to go see it in theaters. The fact that the film targeted a smaller audience, it was rated R, and the bad reputation from the first film also affected this. So that plays into the HBO Max streaming, so people are less likely to go see a movie that had bad reputation. So, in summary, DC Comics is a company that's in a comic cinema battle with Marvel. They also target a more adult audience, being smaller in nature. DC Comics is attempting to please their fans and sell well with their new 2021 Suicide Squad film. They utilize tons of different content marketing on all platforms in some sort of way and have a great amount of earned, paid, and owned content. DC Comics does not utilize their user-generated content enough or content from others and their audience members. They also failed in this marketing campaign to meet sales expectations for the new film. DC should compare their campaigns with different successful Marvel films like Shang-Chi for marketing improvement, as many film fans feel that the $100 million marketing budget for this film was very underutilized. DC should also understand that using a hybrid sales system with HBO Max might affect the sales total with the box office. DC is now promoting their fandom event pretty heavily, which comes out actually today, October 10th. And here's my works cited. Thank you.